Word is show business, and too often we forget that the second word is what governs it all about. It's the business of show. It's not just about show. I mean, anybody can tell a story. Some people can tell a story well. Few people can write a good screenplay that tells a story well, but very few screenwriters take the trouble to understand how the business works. And the more you understand that, the better your chances are. In today's world, you need to understand the business. It operates like every other business beneath all the razzle-dazzle. It is a grueling business in which things change from email to email. Okay, the 12 that get sold every year, and this is the part that's going to interest you most, is the high-concept screenplay. Some screenplay that is so well thought as a story that no one can resist it. As a former professor for 20 years, I did not understand the word high concept for about 10 years in this business. I've been in it for 20 years now. It really means the opposite. You know, it's a low concept. It is so low that anybody can get it. You know, whether your IQ is 50 or 150, you will get it. So, liar, liar, okay, Bruce Almighty, Splash. What are some other examples?
Yes, man.
Huh?
Yes, man.
Yes, man, where you get it in the title. You know, almost in the title. That's a high concept. The few high concept scripts that are selling these days, almost always, I mean, this is the next catch. The ones that are selling almost always have what's called an element attached. That is a director, a star, or financing. So when we're representing a screenplay, which we do very selectively these days, we try to form alliances with a creative force like a director's company. We're close to just about every director's company, from Scott Free Productions, Ridley Scott's company, to James Cameron's company, Lightstorm Entertainment. We try to go to a director's company, or we try to go to a star's company, because that is what's probably going to save that screenplay from development hell. Because the studios have a few years that they do not develop. They don't know how to develop. So what they want is a filmmaker. And one of those three elements then, director, star, or financing, will suddenly put your screenplay in a completely different category. So if we were representing your screenplay, that's what we would be looking to do. You know, rather than taking it immediately to the studios and selling it directly into hell, we would be trying to find an ally to go out there to the studios with once we've got that in place. So that is the studio situation, and what I'll do is I'll have plenty of time for questions afterwards. So let me just go immediately into the independent market. So in the independent market, this is where you really have a much better chance to exist. Independent filmmakers are much more open to spec screenplays than the studios are. They're also open to stories that come from other sources like books and comic books. But the catch is, and this is your advantage in the spec market and the independent market, is that they're only looking for screenplays. It's not a place to sell your novel, because they don't have any development money. In order to make an independent movie, you need a screenplay. And that's where, you know, you can come into the right place at the right time with the right thing. They need a screenplay. They need a screenplay that is ready to shoot. The indie market, however, is based on two kinds of movies. The first kind is an art film. That's what the industry calls it, an art film. Another word for it is a passion project, or another word for it is a labor of love. We kind of cringe to hear that, although there isn't a filmmaker around, including myself, who doesn't have, you know, a number of them in development. I have several in development, but they are the most difficult ones to finance. They are the most difficult ones to distribute, and they're the difficult ones to cast, because the only reason cast takes them is to win an Oscar. So an art film or a labor of love film is appealing to cast, because cast, once they made money and now they're just stuck being an actor forever and they love it, they alternate between payday films where they get paid obscene amounts of money to make movies for the majors, and movies that have a shot at the Oscar. That's why Halle Berry basically worked for scale to make Monsters Ball, and you can rattle off all the examples of actors who do these little art films. Jim Carrey just finished one a few months ago, maybe 6 months ago, called I Love You, Philip Morris, which I couldn't believe he did, but he did. And he obviously did it because he thought it would give him a shot at another Oscar. But the good news about this kind of screenplay is that because of its very nature, it has a good chance to attract cast. It's just hard to get to the cast. And why is that? Because the agencies and the management companies for cast will do everything they can to stop their cast from seeing it. Why? Because they're getting 10%, and the cast might get paid, $30,000 to make a movie that they could get $3 million making if they made it for the majors. Then there's the other side of the indie market that are genre films that are called distributor-friendly films, as opposed to art films, distributor-friendly films. And that means that they are no-brainers like thrillers, character-based action movies, horror movies, including psychological horror, supernatural horror, sci-fi movies, romantic comedies. These are movies that are the stock in trade of the film festivals. I mean, the serious film markets like Cannes and the American Film Market and Toronto Film Festival and a few others, Sundance, etc. Those are the biggest ones around the world where buyers, distributors, congregate to buy product. And to them, it's product. They look at the poster and they look at who's in the movie. Most distributors at Cannes don't go to the screenings to see the movie. They don't have time. They'll just look at the poster. They might look at a 5-minute, 3-minute trailer, but they figure, okay, he's in it, great. There's a big, thick book that producers have that lists every actor you can imagine from 100 down to 1, showing their value in the foreign market.